welcome to Parenting to Win. I'm your host, Clarinda McGrady. If you're new to this site, parentingtowin.com is your one-stop shop for all your parenting needs. Here, you'll find helpful tips and expert advice for all parents, no matter if you have kids in diapers or kids in dorms. Today, we'll be speaking with fitness expert and coach Shelly Kutch. Shelly has been a fitness professional and coach for 32 years. She's also trained and worked with kids for the last 24 years as well. Today, Shelly will be speaking with us on how we can get our kids off the couch and onto exercising. Stick around, you don't want to miss this one. Hi Shelly, welcome to Parenting to Win.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much for being here.
I'm excited.
So Shelly, the main question that we want to answer today is how are we able to stimulate our kids and get them from off the couch playing Xbox and outside exercising?
Well, one of the things I always tell parents is you need to lead by example. I want parents to also exercise and get outside and go jogging with their kids and walking with their kids so that they're not just feeling like their kids are just being shut outside.
Yes.
When I was growing up, we only had outside. So everyone played outside. It was you ran around, everyone played ball, everyone played kickball. It was something active. Nowadays there's so many video games and there's so much to keep someone inside that these kids really kind of lose sight of the whole fitness regime.
Right. And that was what actually my next question I was going to ask you. How has it changed from, let's say, 10 years ago into today?
Well, 10 years ago, say, you would go, a child would come home from school and a child would go outside to the park, or a child would go outside in their backyard and they would play. Nowadays, a child comes home, they get in front of the TV and they play video games. Yes, there's the Wii, yes, there's Connects, there's things like that that are interactive, but it's not the same as a child really getting outside and really running and really going outside for a minimum of 30, 45 minutes at a time.
Okay. Now, you've been working with kids, particularly with training and coaching for the past 20-something years.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about the programs that you have implemented and developed.
Well, what I've tried to do with kids is I've tried, first of all, to kind of mentor parents, to explain to them sort of when it's good to start training a child, what kind of exercises are good for kids, and really kind of organizing the family unit to exercise together. I've implemented track programs, basketball, soccer. Mainly everything I do is around conditioning because I feel like if kids are conditioned, then they won't get injured. Then they're going to be able to have better endurance, and they're also going to enjoy the sport more. Because if I'm conditioned, I'm going to enjoy it more than if I'm about to die because I'm so out of breath trying to get the ball.
Now, you mentioned something about the time frame of going out and getting involved in certain sports. Is there a particular age that's best for kids to get involved?
You know, I'm finding that nowadays people are starting kids, I think, a little young. You know, there's 3-year-olds out there and they are getting hurt and they're not really enjoying the sport because they really don't have the coordination. I think it's great to get your child out there. I think it's great to have some sort of fun organization of sports, but not so high pressure. I feel like kids need to be able to play a large amount of exercises, like for instance, try soccer, try basketball, try baseball, try all these things, rather than these parents I see nowadays are zoning in on one sport at like 5 years old, 6 years old. I don't think a child is ready for that.
Yeah, I know I have kids right now, and they're playing sports like our local YMCA. So it's not really competitive, it's more for the socialization and just sort of breaking into the sport. But at what age, at what point do you think kids are sort of ready to go a little bit more full force with more of the competitive type sports?
I think once a child starts to get in about 5th grade is when they really start to understand the game more. They understand how it works. They understand how the team sport, the team play is, all that. So I think when they get around 5th, 6th grade, they can really start to zone in on what they like. They can really start to hone their skills. They can become familiar with it, and they're at a much better rate for not getting injured, for really understanding and really being able to do it properly.
Right.
That's my pet peeve, is when I see children, whether it's middle school, lower school, college, high school, I can't stand to see them in a training program where they're doing lunges improperly or they're doing push-ups improperly. And the coaches are kind of lax on them because it's like, oh, well, they'll learn. No, they won't.
Right. Yeah. Now, that's more as far as the competitive nature of sports. What about just everyday things that we can do at home?
My favorite thing to tell families is, when I have gone around and done lectures for major corporations, my biggest question would be for people who are working parents. And they would say, I come home, I've worked all day, how am I supposed to go outside with my kids? And what I always like to tell them is, a child is more apt to open up to you if they're in an environment where they're walking, they're outside, they can converse with you, they feel good. So it's never too late in the evening to get a walk in for 30 minutes or go out and throw the ball. Do something like that, kind of getting back to our roots, getting back to what we used to do, because then your child not only is going to get physically fit, but emotionally fit.
Right. So it's not necessarily outside and we're cracking the whip as far as the exercise and push-ups. So just fun stuff, just playing kickball and tag and things of that nature, huh?
It's something that gets them active.
Right.
You're active as well. So the parent is active, they're active, and child mimics everything their parent does.
Yes.
And if the parent comes home from work and sits on the couch and flips that TV on, that child thinks that's okay to do that too.
Absolutely. So we lead by example, huh?
Exactly.
What about for the parent who either A, they're just not that physically fit, B, they are zapped from work, and when they come home, yeah, they do just want to rest. I mean, what are some tips that we can give parents that are like that yes, we do know you need your downtime, however, your kids are watching? What are some things that you can tell those parents?
I always tell parents, children don't ask to come into this world, and you bring them in. So you have an obligation.
Right.
And if there's so many, 40% of our youth are obese.
Wow.
That's a huge number. That's not overweight, that's obesity. So there's a lot. I'm a working mom. I'm a single mom of 3. I'm exhausted because I'm teaching classes all day long, but I have learned that it's so important for me, even if you're the parent and your child has soccer practice, you go to soccer practice with them, you actually go out there, you don't just drop them off, you watch them, you kind of interact with them so you can see maybe what they need to work on, and then you're able to do that on a Saturday. So you don't necessarily have to do it that day, but pick a day of the week, at least one day of the week, that you go out there with your child to the park and you really let them see you also being healthy.
I like that. So it's baby steps. So if you can't get it done every day, at least start off with that one day a week, huh?
And that gives them something to look forward to.
Absolutely. Now, what about our older kids? Those kids that are like the high school years, college years, those kids, what are things that they can do? Particularly, I want to focus on those that just aren't necessarily physical fit. They don't want to get it. They don't even want to do it.
Right. Well, I have 2 daughters who are in high school. And one of my daughters quit playing basketball in high school. And she then just said she was just going to study. And I said, well, great, but you have to be active. And because if we need to set something for them up when they're in high school, because when they go to college, they're all by themselves.
Absolutely.
And Domino's delivers at 2 o'clock in the morning. And, you know, they're going to do that. They're going to do those things. And so what I like to do with those kids is I like to set up programs for them that maybe they can go to the gym twice a week. My daughter and I have a date twice a week. And we go to the gym and work out together. Awesome. And it's our bonding time. She's a senior, so it's my last little bit with her, but it's also a way to kind of teach her and show her by example, as well as she gets to do it on her own. So even when I can't go now, she goes by herself or with her sister.
Oh, wow. I love that. And I love the philosophy that you have, that it's like a family affair. Making it a date night, or not a date night, but making it a date together. Or just doing it together to bring it in with the family.
It's eating healthy, exercising needs to be a family thing. You can't say, if you're a parent, you need to eat all your carrots and you need to go outside and play when you're eating French fries and you're sitting on the TV watching, sitting on the couch watching TV. Those things don't jive, and a child knows that. And as they get older, they begin to pick up those patterns.
Absolutely.
And as adults, it's our job to really kind of say, I know I'm so exhausted and I really don't want to do this, but I'm not just going to sit on the couch. Maybe I'll go walk the dog. And I love, I think pets are great. If you can get a dog and your kids and you walk that dog, even if it's for 10, 15 minutes, it's 10, 15 minutes.
You're teaching responsibility to walk the dog as well as getting exercise too.
Exactly.
You mentioned that percentage, 40% of our kids are obese.
Yes.
So is it fair to say that it's your opinion that if we get out and be a little bit more physical fit, that rate could possibly drop?
Yes, it is. I've spoken with schools before. I'm a track coach for a middle school. And I find that when I meet with parents and kids, they really are unaware of the fact that they're not doing anything.
Wow.
You know, they're unaware. They think it's school because they ran around a little bit,
That
that's
was their
all they
quota.
need. Yeah. And the parents are the same. And when you really give them the information and let them see how long it takes 30 minutes to a physical activity for them to even get a sweat, for them to even get their metabolism going. And parents the same. And so people don't realize that, and they kind of think, oh, well, I have 10 minutes or I have 15 minutes. It's not the same.
So Shelly, it sounds like that your job description goes a little bit deeper. You're even bringing like this, almost like this life coach awareness, to bring in just the awareness of what needs to happen to those people that may just be oblivious to it.
Exactly. I mean, I've been in this business so long, and I've seen it go from, you know, Jane Fonda tapes, and no one went to the gym, to everyone went to the gym, to everyone got hurt at the gym, to now it's evolving back to the gym, and it's evolving back to different exercises. My thing is, I want people to understand about healthy living. Because I think if you understand something, it's easier for you to do it.
It's more of a lifestyle versus the trend for the day.
And it is a lifestyle, and that's the thing. You know, I always tell people, you can't just go outside with your kid for 10 minutes this week. It's a continuous thing. You have to keep going. You have to keep, and you have to teach them. They want to learn. They want to learn. And if you're not able to, say you're a working mom like me, and if you don't have the time, you know, there are all these places, like the YMCA, there are fitness centers that they have actual coaches there that work with kids. And your child could go there for 45 minutes a day, and if you can't do it, at least let them go to someone who can.
And that's a little reassuring for those people that have just sort of been set in their ways, that you don't have to overnight become a fitness guru. It's baby steps, just one day at a time, one step at a time, huh?
Yeah, I don't really think anyone wants to do that. You know what I mean? I don't want someone to feel like, oh my gosh, I've got to go out and get running shoes now, and I've got to start. No. It's, I mean, when my kids were little, we would go out sometimes, and I would just throw the ball with them, and they would play, and it was more them playing and me kind of being back there, but they enjoyed that.
Well, Shelly, I appreciate you being here. One of the goals for Parenting to Win is to be able to empower and equip parents to win at parenting. So before we go, is there that one piece of winning takeaway that you can give our parents that are watching?
Yes. The one thing I would tell parents is, I would say, first of all, don't get frustrated. Baby steps. Start with something you feel comfortable with, and then move on from there. But if you're not equipped to do it, find somebody who is. And that doesn't mean spend money. That may mean an aunt, an uncle. That may mean someone else. But just find someone who can help you so that your kids get everything they need at a young age, because when they go off to college, they're all by themselves, and they need to have all that to go forward.
Need to already have established habits.
A good base.
Well, Shelly, again, I appreciate your time. It's been awesome. And before we leave, for those parents that are watching, they may want to get a hold of you to inquire about some of your products and things you're doing. How can they get a hold of you?
My email address is shellkutsch@gmail.com. And I answer questions. I have people email me all the time for information on nutrition, exercise. And if they have questions about where in the city that they can go, I usually have some good ideas for them.
Okay, awesome. Well, thank you so much, Shelly.
Thanks.
Until next time, I'm Clarinda McGrady, reminding you that raising your child to be a champion makes you a winner every time.